जानते थे कि हमें भी अपने पदचिन्ह बनाने होंगे। यह 22 अक्टूबर 2008 का दिन था। भारत ने अपने अंतरिक्ष कार्यक्रम के एक नए अध्याय की शुरुआत की। चंद्रयान-1 सफलतापूर्वक लॉन्च किया गया। इसके गौरवमयी कार्यकाल में इस मिशन ने एक ऐतिहासिक खोज दर्ज कराई। हमने चंद्रमा पर पानी खोज निकाला और अब आगे कुछ भी पहले जैसा नहीं रह जाएगा। चंद्रयान-1 ने विज्ञान को एक नया दृष्टिकोण दिया, लेकिन हमारे लिए यह यात्रा सिर्फ एक शुरुआत है। यह एक नई दुनिया की खोज में हमारा पहला कदम था, जो वास्तव में हमें अपने ही बारे में बताता है। यह मानव जाति के उन सवालों के जवाब देने की शुरुआत थी जो वह हमेशा पूछती रहती है। पिछले 10 वर्षों के दौरान देश भर से हजारों लोग सिर्फ एक सपने के लिए एक साथ आगे आए हैं। भारत का अगला बड़ा अभियान। हम पूरी तरह तैयार हैं। क्या आप हैं?
History was made by ISRO as Chandrayaan-2 soared into the skies carrying a rover on its second lunar mission in July 2019. The Indian Space Research Organization has achieved remarkable progress since its humble beginnings. ISRO's journey began back in 1962 as the Indian National Committee for Space Research, led by Vikram Sarabhai and physicist K.R. Ramanathan, with limited resources, a small team of scientists, and minimal funding. They assembled their first rocket a year later using bicycles for transportation. Over 60 years later, we are now launching rockets to the moon, Mars, and beyond. In 2013, ISRO reached for the stars once more. Setting its sight on Mars, the Mangalyaan, or the Mars Orbiter mission, was launched and successfully entered Martian orbit in 2014, continuously transmitting valuable data ever since. Now with Chandrayaan-3, ISRO adds another remarkable achievement to its illustrious track record, showcasing how rockets can be launched into space on a modest budget. This accomplishment gives over 1 billion people a reason to believe that anything is possible. Marking an attempt to land on the south pole of the moon, Chandrayaan-2 was launched on July 22, 2019. However, the mission did not succeed and the country stopped short of becoming the first nation to successfully land on the lunar surface in its maiden attempt. The Chandrayaan-2 obviously is not a failure. That's what the underlying aspect is, because till now, the data collected through Chandrayaan-2, NASA also acknowledging it and making headway into further forays into the outer space. In 2019, the Indian Space Research Organization had launched 6 vehicle missions and 7 satellite missions, which included 50 foreign satellites from 7 countries. This was remarkable, a feat that only ISRO could achieve. Visuals of Prime Minister Narendra Modi at that time in 2019 hugging the ISRO chief in an attempt to console and encourage him after the soft landing on the lunar surface could not achieve its target. And on that time, Prime Minister Modi could also be seen patting Sivan as he broke down at the Space Agency's headquarters in Bengaluru.
An array of emotions on display, but the moist eyes of Chairman ISRO सभी को शुभकामनाएं भी दी। इंडियन स्पेस रिसर्च ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के चेयरमैन डॉक्टर के सिवान को गले लगाते हुए, पीठ थपथपाते हुए, हौसला बंधाते हुए माननीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी।
Looking ahead to the successful launch of Chandrayaan-3, ISRO former chief K. Sivan recalled how Prime Minister Narendra Modi's hug after the space agency lost contact with Chandrayaan-2 lander Vikram in September had taught him many lessons. During the course of the show, we'll be bringing you what K. Sivan had to say about this historic feat that ISRO had achieved and how the nation led by Prime Minister consoling the man who was attempting something which has never done before. Joining me to discuss the long journey of ISRO and how it is going to culminate into another launch of Chandrayaan-3. Mr. Tyagi, for
Yeah.
the those who are so much interested in extraterrestrial, beyond the spatial places, how and how excited one should be, and how excited you are, obviously, on this launch of Chandrayaan-3 first to begin with, sir.
I think I'm excited since last the day when this date was announced, and I'm waiting for that moment because we have to still wait for the final, the last mission which that objective which could not achieve last time, but this time, it's going. Those correction has been done in design of the this propulsion module itself, which was a orbiter last time, and the design of that that rover also has been changed. The lander also, there's design, fuel, etc., everything. So last time actually there was a the word which has become very popular, the technical glitch at the last moment. It was because of maybe it was a software problem as well as a hardware problem. What the things came from the ISRO itself. So those correction has been done, and I think it's a proud moment for every citizen of the country to look, for that moment when India will be creating an history.
Right. Mr. Raju, obviously, when it comes to high ticket, high value launches like this, obviously all eyes and expectations are very big from premier institutes like ISRO. In your learned opinion, sir, how critical and how important is Chandrayaan-3 as far as the lunar exploration is concerned, and how does it add value to the space unknown?
Yeah, good afternoon. I'm G. Raju from ex-ISRO person. I
Pleasure, sir.
think we are all looking for the very successful mission for this time to launch Chandrayaan-3. We are basically looking at a possible three different sections of the mission are there. One is the launch itself. Then before what we failed last time with the mission could not achieve putting the Pragna, that is the rover, on the surface of the moon because the lander could not do the expected, it could not reach the destination. But this time,
Right.
as we hear many things from ISRO sources, that we are looking at all the possible failures. What could fail? What could, like hardware or software or algorithms? That is the seriousness, a little bit different way. Instead of looking at the successes, as we hear from various sources, including Chairman ISRO.
Mr. Tyagi, could you please throw some more light on how this landing is being approached in a different manner, in an improvised manner, if I may say so, than 2019?
See, there are one thing is like we have a foolproof technology in terms of the launching vehicle. Our GSLV has proved his credential earlier also. Then the second aspect is what the difference is, like we have that propulsion module in which there is no because our orbiter which are already there, it is still working. So we are getting data from that. So there was no need this time to take an orbiter also. So the propulsion module contain only the lander and the rover in that. So this is a modification, plus the designing of this the lander and in the and also in the rover. So idea was to whatever, like as just Sivan Saab has said, like whatever the uh, drawbacks or some limiting factor were there, those has been removed. See, the other option, like they have repeated the experiment ISRO and learned from that. So there was one thing which was came into our knowledge also, was that like there was a some hardware problem in software. The algorithm which was written, it was the the parameter which is defined was very strict. So that flexibility was not there. So when the lander has reached there, it was difficult for him to, deviate from if it find, the space environment or where it is landing different. So this was the thing which has been corrected now. The it is more self-supportive in the sense like taking decision where is to land and taking its own decision at that time. And finally, the landing should be soft. All those precaution has been taken by design and by the software, and also the rover which will give us more information about the geology of the moon. And this we call chanda as a chand, as a moon, as a chanda mama. Why? Because it is a brother of our earth. So uh, so there, because of we have more information about the origin of earth, because the material, the things which are lying there, those are not touched upon. They are still in a virgin state. And the South Pole where we are going, even the light has not reached there. So
Right.
everything is intact. So it will give us a more information. You can say the more whatever knowledge we have for about the moon just now, it is more on indirect basis.
Right.
Okay, except
Right.
the moon mission and all that, it is through satellite or remote sensing. But now the rover will be analyzing then and there and sending us the information. So this
Right.
will be the, you can say, and India will be the first country to have the this kind of information from the South Pole.
Right.
Okay,
Absolutely.
that is the
Absolutely.
reason, because it is always in the dark, and this is the place also where we have a water in the crystalline form, and it has its own advantage. If suppose water is there, so then, and this location is also very ideal for other, transplanetary journeys. You can go
Right.
to the Mars and Venus also. And if the water is there, I think you have a source of energy. Then you don't have to take that much, fuel to the moon and then or to other things. So main here is the fuel economy. And if we have the water and if we are able to set up our space station, I think it's a win-win situation for us. And I think
Yes.
this mission will give us, the path for the future of Indian space, not only about the technology, but the space mission as well. It can be a space tourism we can also start.
Right.
We
Right.
don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Mr. Tyagi, Mr. Raju, listening to both of you, for audience sitting across, the television screens, it looks so easy, the propulsion and the liftoff and everything. But what goes beyond this, what Mr. Tyagi is mentioning, is something that can only be, felt when you are there. Mr. Raju, you have must have, been part of so many expeditions, so many projects that have happened being associated with ISRO. What is the preparation? We are just over 48 hours away from the launch of Chandrayaan-3. What is the atmosphere? क्या हो रहा होता है? क्या चल रहा होता है? Last minute checks and balances, all those things.
Yes. Basically, we will have to, in the Sriharikota launch complex, as my experience goes, one has to look for the weather. There are good radars, wind profilers, and many meteorological instrumentation waiting to declare go. So the mission director, the launch sequence will start the moment the meteorological conditions. Of course, we have enough robust launch vehicle to take care of even in case of some extreme weather. But it's always better to have a very predictable launch, smooth launch, so that in the complex know what is actively going on, monitoring the weather, particularly wind speed, direction. So there is a very efficient wind profiler, and there are radars, of course, to support them. And looking you can see the launch vehicle with various stages of experimental checks going on at all levels, including the payload. So this is what I expect the people or the experts worrying about 24/7 until the last 48 hours. This is the preparation. Of course, they have completely conducted the simulation on ground, looking at the environment and what all will happen until the launch phase up to the final destination of the moon. So there will be environment checks already done. They'll be only looking at the voltages and currents and the telemetry, telecommand, robustness, whether everything is working or not. Are there any interferences? These are the last minute checks.